all, it's Matt and everybody else on Team United, ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel. We're jumping on right here, right now. We're still technically having the show running in the back, but let's talk this through as people are coming on. Oh my God, what a show, of course. This is nerve-wracking it is every single time, but I got my team here, James, Roy, Sean, and Gabe, and we got to talk this through. And of course, answer your questions. And I'm sure there are plenty of them. Before we even go into the details about who qualified, Gabe, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it was amazing. Some real standout performances tonight. I thought Finland smashed it. Portugal, San Marino, amazing. And I mean, the results had a big shock in store as well. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute, so I'm going to leave it for now. But just wow, this was a step up from semi-final one for me.
What do you think?
Great.
Sorry. What do you think, Sean?
Give me a minute. I need to still calm down. Like that was like, we'll go into it later, but for me, for that one country in particular, that was incredibly stressful. And I hope if this is what it's like to be in the semi-finals, I hope the UK keep on paying the money they're paying, because I don't want to go through that. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible.
What do you think, James?
Oh boy, yeah, the end. Two of my favorites. One spot left. Oh my guts felt like they were being mangled. Oh, rough stuff.
Yeah, everyone was suffering here. How about you, Roy?
I swear, like literally, my entire top three has been left for the final bit. Like Ukraine was left for the last one to be announced. Finland was left to be announced this time around, and.
Yeah. Well, we got to talk this through. Of course, we will answer a lot of the questions as well, of course, in the chat. We just got to go through the first few things, and I forgot to take a screenshot of the actual running order in terms of who was announced first. Albania. So, Albania was the first one that was announced. After what you've seen, the performances, I don't assume anyone in our group here is surprised, right? Anyone more relieved? Like you were not quite certain, but you were like, oh, thank God, I was not 100% sure.
It was like, I knew that the results thing is because I knew there were 7 songs I was more confident about than Albania.
Yeah.
When I saw Albania, I was like, okay, I know all 7 of those are qualifying now as well.
Yeah.
Like, because I think that means I got the sense. I thought I had the sense right. So then after that, it was like, okay, I know where this is going. But no, I mean, she completely deserved it. She was stunning tonight. She was brilliant yesterday as well. And to be honest, I think she was always going to grab attention. And when you saw it, you knew straight away she was easily through.
Yes. I mean, she definitely delivered vocally. She does every single time. But it has just that boom moment when it just comes up and you're just like, whoa. And it's always wonderful to see a song go further in a non-English language. James, what were your thoughts?
Oh, she was one of those performers where the second they opened on her and she sort of to the side, you see that very long leg and that sort of confident stare. I was like, yeah, she's more than likely going to go through here. She's got the eye of the tiger. Nothing can go wrong with this one. And I'm glad that my hunch on that one is at least correct, and the rest of Europe felt it and put it through.
Yeah, I think all of us had Albania in our predictions, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, no,
I had them out at like sort of 11th place. It was like it was a tough call for me. So like, but I knew it was likely. But then when it was announced first, I kind of lost my head a little bit. I was like, oh my God, something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realised that it was actually quite a likely qualifier. So I think all my sort of senses go out the window as soon as they start announcing countries. So I mean,
something did happen.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that later on. But she absolutely nailed it tonight. So I can't fault them qualifying. I am just slightly surprised that she did actually make it, if that makes sense.
Yes. No, absolutely. I see a lot of comments in the chat, and I understand some of them for other countries. We'll answer them as we talk through them. But yeah, Albania is through, so that was a relief. The second country, what was the second country announced?
Serbia,
that is right. Yep. Once again, anyone on our group here not did not have we all had Serbia as a qualifier, right?
Correct.
Yes. So I know that we said this would be a shock non-qualifier kind of situation potentially, but that did not happen. What did you guys think of the performance? Right, I think they smashed it.
Yeah, I think the performance was really good, and they just sold it very well. And I think it's just a very catchy song that people just naturally kind of gravitate towards, and it's something that like the televotes will definitely have given a lot of votes to. It will not have won the semifinal, but yeah, it definitely deserved to go through. It definitely stood out in the show, and I'm happy they made it.
Did you think anything of it, Sean, when you first saw Albania, then Serbia? Were you getting nervous a little bit, or you were still like, okay, this is looking kind of like what I thought was going to happen?
Yeah, again, like I say, I lost my head a little bit. I was like, oh, Serbia. And I was like, okay, yeah, no, that does make sense. I don't know what, we'll talk about it later on, I'm sure, but I don't know what it was. But the first sort of half of the show, a lot of people were really sort of not with it, like performance-wise. So then Serbia, to me, really stood out because they just absolutely killed it tonight.
Yes.
Absolutely nailed it. Best performance I've seen them do. And it was just, I'm not a massive fan of the song myself, but I was like, yeah, they killed it tonight. So I'm glad that they got through it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree. Those were two, you know, somewhat expected at least and deserved qualifiers. Who was number 3?
Bulgaria.
I mean, Sean, you said it before. This was obviously, you said, don't count it out as a qualifier, but were you still relieved? It was more like, yeah, duh.
I mean, I knew they were going to qualify. The thing is, even the certain qualifiers, it's still a relief when they get announced.
Yeah.
Like it's still okay, at least the name's on the screen. But I actually felt quite emotional watching her perform tonight. She was flawless. Absolutely flawless. The performance I thought was incredible. She really nailed the vocals, the feeling of the song. Towards the end, I was like welling up, and it was a real special moment. So I'm glad she went through.
Yeah,
really glad.
Yeah. What do you think, Gabe?
I mean, I thought she was fantastic. I thought it was really, really intimate, and the thing is, she doesn't just sell the song; she sells her. Like, you're sitting listening to it, you feel like you're getting to know her. Like, it builds it. You almost build up a kind of like parasocial kind of relationship with it as you're listening to the song. You feel like you're getting to know her, and like she's touching on an anxiety that all of us have a little bit. So it's immensely personal. I don't know whether it's going to win, but I mean, if it doesn't come in the top 10, it would be a crime. It would be a crime. Top 5, probably.
Yes, I can see this one going. This is one of the songs, I think, Sean, you mentioned it, that I could see do well both with the televote and jury, and that is exactly what you want to have. Absolutely. Because I do believe there are so many songs that appeal to one group and not the other. So I think Bulgaria could potentially nail that very well. So definitely well done.
I think she really showed some star quality tonight, I think, as well, that we've not quite seen. It all came together.
No, I agree with you. There was definitely something there, magic that is very difficult to that not everyone has. So then the 4th qualifier of the evening was Moldova, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was an interesting. I mean, first of all, there was this moment where she was performing, and of course, that's the snippet they used for the recap as well. It sounded almost like she slipped and made a squeaky sound, and then she did like a very unexpected sound, but that didn't affect the outcome, and she did qualify. She dropped in the betting odds shortly after, before this was announced, so a lot of people thought it's not going to happen, but Gabe, clearly did happen. I heard your giggle.
How on earth? I love this song so much. It has been on repeat non-stop for me for like 2 months. How on earth did it qualify? I don't understand. No disrespect to Natalia, but tonight's performance missed the mark. I don't know what. How? Where? When? Why?
That's the interesting part, because you, again, we talked about it before, you gave it like the high score in our panel. You gave it like 10 out of 10, right? Yeah. And you're the one that's saying that was not good enough.
No, I love it, but I feel like I've gotten away with murder here, because one of my favorites has got through. Really, I
And you're like,
really didn't think it was going to. I didn't think it was going to be close either. I thought Austria had a lock on that 10th place.
Yeah. So, James, what was your observation in it? Were you also more like jaw dropping or like, nope, I had that one?
No, I had them not qualifying, and I thought that with this performance, it was like, God, this is worse than the rehearsals. This is crap. It's clearly some dark art by Philip Kukurov, as Sean said earlier. Yeah, I don't get it. The performance was terrible. She looked lost. Not only did she make a couple of issues, she noticed she made a couple of issues, and we noticed she noticed.
Yes.
And like, what the hell, Europe?
Well,
Now tell us how you really feel, James.
Yeah.
Sean, do you think that this was really a televote push here or you think that could have been actually juries? Because she did much better in the jury show. Like that was one of her better performances. What do you think?
I don't know. I really don't know. It was all over the place tonight. I mean, the high notes, she looked uncomfortable. She looked in pain almost.
Mm-hmm.
Where she just lost herself and just screamed Eurovision, and then it was in the recap. It was like there was an echo effect, so you could hear the last of it like over and over again, and it didn't make sense. I mean, it's a fun song. I mean, if people are literally like, there may have been a vote where people are just watching Eurovision and they go, "Oh, I like that song." Yes, it was messily performed. Yes, it wasn't perfect, but
Yes.
fuck it. It was a good song, you know what I mean? And like they wanted to vote for it. Maybe that's how it got through. Maybe the juries supported it more than I thought they would. They must have got some kind of support somewhere to get through.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think really just the song is just, I mean, the song is catchy, right? It has a fun beat and it has its moment. It just seems as it lost a lot of momentum, but clearly the average viewer was kind of probably still like totally into it, and it worked. Vival is saying, thank you for the super chat. Romania voted for Moldova. Well, not in this time, unless you're referring to the diaspora, and I'm not sure how prominent that is in other countries.
Could be.
It was, yeah. Patrick says it was bizarre, to be honest. Yeah, I think a lot of people. Natalie thinks, I bet Moldova squeaked through into 10th or 9th. Is that what you believe as well, Roy?
Yeah, definitely. I think like this is sort of the opposite of a robbery. It's like a steal. Like they just grabbed in and were like, I could also see this be like something that they were 11th in both votes and just squeaked in because of that. And yeah, I was really surprised when Moldova was announced, and especially when they were announced so early and so many of the big favorites were still left to be announced. Like, didn't fully make sense in the order they announced it. But I was a bit surprised, to be honest.
Oh no, me too. Go ahead.
So an interesting theory. Imagine you've got, say, 5 giant, like 10-foot tall boxers in a ring, and then you've got a kid with a water gun. Moldova's the kid with the water gun. The boxers all punched at the same time, knocked each other out, split the vote across all of them. Moldova wandered through the middle by accident. It may be that 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th was really close behind. And just because of the very specific dynamics of this semi, a bunch of countries sort of tripped over each other, and Moldova fell through by accident.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Moldova must have squeaked through 9th, 10th, and between 9th and say 13th would have been like on a knife edge.
Or we misreading it again, and it's a San Marino 2019 situation where it's just like that kind of song that just has enough support to gather that it makes it through. It could be a similar kind of situation. Prince London, think Portugal, 12 points from the United Kingdom, went to Madeira Island. Thanks, Eurovision family. Ronaldo's over the moon. We'll talk about that in a moment. Wasn't Portugal 5th to be announced?
Yes.
Yes. Well, then it's a perfect transition over to that. We all had it in our predictions, I believe, in the top 10 in the end. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes. So, Gabe, what were you thinking? I'm like relief or just like nada? I mean, that was, you said, I think was a lock for you, right?
Sorry, I completely, my mind switched off.
It's okay.
Which country, sorry.
We're talking about Portugal.
Portugal, yeah, no, it was, and as soon as you saw it, like the live performance was gorgeous. It was their best yet, I thought. Really, really emotional. They shot up the odds. You know, we were waiting for that country to shoot up the odds. They flew up about 10 places the second they finished.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been not bizarre scenario where half the bookies had cut them to 20-1, the other half hadn't done it yet, so they had them at like 120-1 still. But no, they've flown it fully deserved. Gorgeous performance, beautifully staged. The black and white like narrow aspect ratio transition to the full color actually was really quite beautiful. It was just very moving, just so tender and sweet. I love it.
Yeah, you felt the same way, James?
Yes, for me, it's the, and I'm glad this delegation learned. This is the exact opposite of what happened in 2019. There was a fan favorite, and they were like, oh, let's sticky tape some cutlery to his hands, the bath rugs, send him out there, and they bomb. This time, they take a soft contemporary rock song, adult contemporary rock song, about a down-on-her-luck prostitute, and with staging, just with really effective staging, take it from a no-hope to what could effectively be a sort of cult hero like a Tom Dice circa 2010. Really marvelous staging job here, and what should be a textbook lesson in how to resuscitate a down-on-their-luck, low-in-the-odds entry.
Yeah. Now, Portugal jumped to like 8th place in the betting odds shortly after, it performed and all of that stuff, which I said before, this could be like the Ireland 2018 effect where they're qualified. And then they were like 3rd in the betting odds, and that didn't quite pan out in the finals, but they're dropping again a little. So we'll see how that's going to pan out. Sean, your thoughts?
Well, first of all, and I know I can't have my cake and eat it because of what I said about Verona earlier, but I will not have a bad word said about Telemovich. It was an absolute masterpiece, and it was robbed. And Ojardin was also robbed.
Tell them.
In Lisbon.
Tell them.
So this is Portugal getting what they deserve, very rightfully. And if I'd like to refer you back to the ESC United jury before everyone went to Rotterdam, where this guy right here said that Portugal had an outside chance of qualification, then I've been vindicated as a pundit or a Eurovision expert, as it were.
It's cute because I said that as well. So I love how you're trying to take all the credit here on your
Mom, Dad, stop fighting!
To actually talk about tonight, it was absolutely sublime. Planned to perfection. Tatanka, I think is the singer's name, was wonderful. And he gave it that really soulful quality and sort of jazz improvisation that Salvador did so well. I'm not comparing this to Salvador in terms of anything else other than that, so don't jump down my throat. But it was a really good performance, and Portugal have got what they deserve this year, and they really deserve it.
Thank you, Dick Burke, by the way, for the super chat. Just want to say thanks again. Coverage is so good. Wow, that's a big compliment. Thank you. And Prince Lennon says, thanks, Matt. Thanks, James. Thanks, Gabe. Thanks, Roy. Thanks, Sean. Thanks for leaving in Portugal. Madeira Island loves you, and Ronaldo wants you, Matt. Okay, thanks.
I think there's another super chat as well, isn't there?
Yeah, no, that was the one, I think. Unless I missed something.
Four.
Yeah, no, I know. I've been for them. I think.
Oh, okay.
I am staying on top of things. I'm good. So yes, that is definitely what happened. And we're going to go in more details with each country as well. We're just going to go for them really fast because in just a little bit they're going to come here. Well, not here to my desk, but in the press center to announce quick interview and all that stuff. So we want to get through the songs real quick, and then we'll answer your questions. Then the 6th qualifier was. Anybody know off the top of your head?
I just closed the window by accident.
Iceland was the 6th one. It was obviously a relief, right, Roy? Or not? You
I mean, we saw it from a mile coming. It's such a catchy and effective song, and it just is staged so well. It's very fun and uplifting. And I mean, people were a bit doubtful because they, of course, one of their members got COVID and they had to stay in their hotel. But like tonight, they didn't actually pan out from the screen to the audience, but it looked like it was actually part of the show. So I thought that they did way better tonight, and it was really good. And I'm glad they went through, and I had no doubt really, but I'm glad they did anyway.
Wait, so people are saying in the chat that they already announced the halves?
They are. They've started doing it. It's not on the feed. I've got the first 3 here. 4, 5. Oh, they did them all already.
Wait, yeah.
Oh, really?
Let me read them real quick. Albania, first half. Serbia, first half. Bulgaria, second half.
Ooh.
Moldova, second half.
Ooh.
Portugal, first half. Iceland, first half. San Marino, second half.
Oh,
Switzerland, first half. And Greece, first half. Finland, second half. So there you have it. We'll go through in that a little bit more detail. René
Barbara
Bernhardt.
Pravi's dark arts have worked their magic once more.
I know. Whatever she's having, I'm having. René Bernard, 20 euros. Thank you so much for your super chat and big hug right back at you. So that is wonderful. It's weird that they did it this time. Spread means so long, so they're trying to. I didn't like that, but oh well. They're just trying to get us out here quickly. So in that case, we're still gonna get the. I'm still gonna press conference though, right?
Yeah, but I think it's for the lineup.
Oh, okay.
So they can make it
Quicker, they're just gonna have interviews then. Okay, so
Is this going to be an article, or do we wait until the final line?
article. Yep. So sorry guys. So we're multitasking here. So let's go through. So 6 was Iceland, as Roy already mentioned. James, were you worried at all? Because I mean, it is that what they did this time, unlike what they did with the other run-throughs, is they used to show us like the performance on screen as they were done with it, but they didn't do it this time. They cut that out and just did the whole audience shot. I think that was very effective. You think that just gave it more of a feeling like they're actually there, James?
Yep, I do. I think they did a very good job making you feel they were there. You have no idea, apart from maybe the green room bit at the end, that they were somewhere else off-site.
Yes, I agree with that as well. So we're very happy because it was a sucky few days for Iceland in terms of like that. But the fact that they made it, I mean, yes, it may not be surprising, but there's always that, oh, that would have really, really sucked. Number 7 was qualifier. San
Marino!
I got to go to my buddy Gabe. Well, actually, that's not true. Sean is just as big of a stan on this one, just like we are.
I don't know if that's the right way around, but we've completed the Holy Trinity, everyone. Valentina, Spurhat, and Senate are San Marino's Eurovision heroes. The 3 finalists for San Marino are the 3 most famous, probably, for Eurovision fans, and I could not be happier. I don't think Flowrider really realised the gravity of the situation of San Marino qualifying for a Eurovision final, because I think he was on Instagram Live, and I don't think he quite grasped that was like a, you know, he just thinks like, oh yeah, let's go, but actually that was like a huge moment for Senate.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
No, I mean, they smashed it. Flowrider was so Eurovision, Flowrider, and San Marino were the top 3 trends in the UK immediately. Like after,
I saw that. You tweeted that.
Immediately after the performance. So obviously it went big with people. I saw a lot of what I was hoping for from Twitter, where they were like, "Oh my god, it's Flowrider." So yeah, I don't think it was a doubt that they were going to go through, but I'm still absolutely thrilled that they did, regardless.
Yes. And I know a lot of people asking questions. We answer them as soon as possible. We just got to go for them here real quick. And I got to go to Gabe because he's like anxious. Like he wants to talk about San Marino. Talk to me, my friend.
I have to say, you know, for everyone who doubted that was going to happen, the second that performance finished, there was no doubt in my mind that it's not just a qualifier, it's a top 10 finish at least. It is going to romp home in the televote. It is going to absolutely catch fire on Saturday. The word is out now. And for you Flow deniers, as I'm going to call you, like, let me tell you, this guy has star quality. A rap song that works at Eurovision.
It's not
It's
a rap.
Hallelujah.
That's not physically possible.
Well,
We are
clearly
no
you're wrong.
longer in the realms of reality anymore.
So
I'm losing my mind.
I know. I'm so excited for you and myself because I was making a little round here myself. Now, Roy, have you started baking that humble pie yet, or is that still in the works?
Oh, I wanted it to qualify. I just think that I wanted to put like a kind of a shock thing in there. I will just say, like, I usually text with a lot of people, like locals, and there was one group app and like 7 other locals. And they all absolutely hated Flo Rida. They absolutely hated him being there because of the name being announced, they were like, well, we've got to expect something extremely polished, extremely well written. And then they were super disappointed when the end result was kind of presented. So yes, maybe a lot of people will love it, But there were also a lot of people who didn't like it at all. I'm really glad they made it though, because San Marino, definitely, this has been their best effort so far, and I'm really glad that it paid off in the end. And I'm glad to see them in the final. But just saying that there was some disconnect as well, so it wasn't only praise.
Yeah. Well, but that applies to every song. You know, like even Ukraine got criticism. And the point is, people cannot vote against a song. You know, we
true.
only need to worry the people that you want. So screw the haters, I'm saying. Just like with the other songs, you know, all you need to worry about is get people to vote for you. And that is exactly what San Marino did. And they always have such an uphill battle, and they did it this time around.
And now they've qualified twice in a row.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Thinking.
Wow.
And yeah, San Marino
powerhouse.
Yeah.
I know. They're not, I think that the underdog title, kind of, they're losing them slowly here.
I wouldn't go that far yet. Give it a
Not
few
yet.
more years first.
I know.
Yeah.
Fine.
Next year, Sir Hot featuring Pitbull.
That would be incredible.
Anyway, we gotta move on. Who was it?
All three of the Holy Trinity.
So who was the eighth one that was going through?
Switzerland.
He was getting nervous. Did you see his face? Not that, you know, I'm sure he knew he has a great song, but I can only imagine sitting in the green room and as confident that you all believe in your song. I mean, again, I'm sure you started sweating some bullets. What were you thinking, James?
I say this as someone who's not really impressed with the song. I did notice a sort of bit of nerves on him. And unlike his other two big titans he's got to take down, he's got to take down Destiny, he's got to take down Pravi. He does not have the natural charisma of him. He's got one hell of a good voice, I will admit that. But the nerves got a little bit of the better of him. And could they do something more with the dance if they have to have him dance more than that little sort of wiggle thing?
All right. What? Any other thoughts, Gabe?
I quite like the wiggle. I thought it works a lot better once you have the full context. That snippet really misled people. But no, it works as the energy. It's like the song is flowing through him. It's getting more intense. The camera shot's getting sharper and faster. So I thought it was fantastic. I thought he really, really smashed it this evening. He's got more to give, sure, but he has time to find it.
Yeah.
And
I am. Yeah, go ahead.
He did great. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of it. I love everything. Everything is great. Sorry.
No, that is good. I mean, I was very happy for him as well. But again, I was like, okay, well, I knew looking at the final three, I could kind of predict them. I think most people. So I was not too surprised, but I was relieved, I guess. And then the ninth qualifier, I'm surprised they kept it a little bit to the end, was Greece, one of the very obvious qualifiers. Roy, you were like, okay, when you looked at the screen, okay, obviously Greece is through, or were you like, uh-oh, could this be the shot qualifier?
I was so surprised with the order. Like the last three were very obvious to me, like Switzerland, Greece, and the one we're going to talk about in a minute. Like it was so obvious from the countries left that they were going to qualify. And Greece, I mean, it's just a very good performance, and the song is very well sung. Like Stefania was incredible again. Like her vocals are out of this world. She looks stunning, and it's still maybe the staging. Like I still don't fully agree with the green screen. Like it doesn't really add much for me. I think I would rather have it without. Like the song doesn't need it, and Stefania doesn't need it either, in my book. But there was no doubt ever that this was not going to qualify, like not at all, and they'll have a good result, I would say. Yeah,
I would agree with you with that as well. I was like, okay, this is like I think I know where this is going, which kind of made me a little sad for multiple reasons. But at the same time, I'm excited because I knew some of the ones I was rooting for will make it. But Greece was obvious, not a shocker, and I'm just curious. Sometimes I wish I could have a monitor on every single Greek person right now, because I mean, it's even if you're confident, it's still nerve-wracking. So I was definitely actually quite nervous for them. But we'll talk about it in a second. I know a lot of people have comments about Greece. I would love to hear your thoughts, but let's just go for the other ones real quick. And the last one of the night, I'm going to go to you, Sean. Were you actually thinking this could be a shock non-qualifier for Finland? Was your heart actually dropping, or were you like...
Yeah, I was not in a good place. I was starting to really think that it was going to be an absolute sort of bombshell moment, that they wouldn't actually make it through, because I was looking at Denmark and thinking, I thought Denmark were going to go through. I'm going to be honest, just to jump back to Greece, I almost completely disagree with what Roy said. I was really thinking that Greece were going to bomb out at that point because I thought she seemed quite nervous today. Some of the notes were not there, and just the stage presence, it just all felt a lot flatter for me, Greece. So that was when it got to that point. I still thought she'd qualify up until that point, and then I was thinking, okay, maybe she's not actually made it. But yeah, I think I was worried for Finland. I didn't know if it was a case of I like that type of music. I love that type of music. Finland was like my number one this year, so I didn't know if I'd got so invested in it that I didn't see the bigger picture. And I know a lot of Eurovision fans also liked it, but I didn't know if maybe I'd just completely misjudged this one. But obviously, towards I mean, when they were going to the 10th qualifier, it was amazing to hear the arena chant for Finland. Because that was a really cool moment. Because then I think all the other delegations looked around, and you could even see in their faces, like Denmark and Austria, they were kind of like, yeah, well, they deserve to go through. They were brilliant tonight. Absolutely brilliant. They killed it. I'm so happy to see songs like this get the validation they deserve in Eurovision, because it's a song contest and it deserves every type of song to be successful in it. So yeah, I was sweating buckets waiting for it, but in hindsight, it was never in doubt. I hate the way that they hype these things up for TV, because it just makes me so nervous as a Eurovision fan. But the right result in the end.
I'm the only thing I'm disappointed by is not that they're qualified. It's just, I mean, not disappointed. I think it's actually fair if they would do it random, but since I know that the announcement is not random, but it's somehow producer driven, then they could have made it a little bit more exciting, because both of the last qualifiers were so obvious to me that I was just like, duh. So
I feel like I should have flipped it, like 100% done it the other way around.
Yes, if they want a producer driven, like, it's just because they want to have the influence to make it more exciting, but they made it less exciting in my view.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that was the weird part. Let's go through the real quick. Everyone gets one non-qualifier, and we talk about it. Estonia didn't go through. James, starting with you, any surprise, like, where there's a glimmer of hope, or you're like, well, obviously we're not even going to consider Estonia as a potential qualifier?
No, I am not surprised at all. We talked about it earlier. Yeah, I even think Estonia are not surprised at all. Their delegation is like him and his mum, and like the head, and that was basically it. I mean, if they're not going to be convinced they can make it through, like, why would the average European punter be?
Yeah, that makes sense. Roy, what about Czech Republic? Benny Cristo, Omaga didn't do it. Again, according to the betting odds, was not necessarily a no-go. It was also expected, but your thoughts?
It was just, it didn't ever really come together. Like, his charisma, he smiles a lot, but his vocals were a bit like breathy and a bit underwhelming. And overall, the performance in the end, compared to the studio version, kind of felt flat, and it was just never really elevated to the level that it should have been, especially because all of the other delegations brought so much fire with the staging. So it just ultimately kind of fell flat, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then the next non-qualifier on our list here is Austria. And Austria, the only country that was actually in the odds bookmakers top 10 that did not make it. Moldova made it instead. Sean, your thoughts?
I'm quite surprised. I'm guessing maybe the televote just didn't support it enough, or the juries were not placing it as high as we maybe anticipated or thought could have happened. I think today his performance wasn't amazing. I'll be honest. I thought I could hear a little bit of nerves in him, or emotion. It could have been, because I think he broke down at the end, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know whether he let that get the better of him a little bit, but I thought it's still really well staged. It was a competent performance. Compared to Moldova, for example, I mean, it's chalk and cheese. I would, if you put them two, and I think they were side by side in the draw, or nearly side by side in the draw, I would say Austria would deserve it over Moldova every time, but that's how it goes sometimes.
That's how it goes, exactly. And Gabe, I mean, Poland was last in the betting odds, and second to last, and back to last after what you saw. Anything else to add there?
I mean, unfortunately, he looked like he had fun, and I'm glad he did. It was the performance tonight was not very good. It came across as very dated for me. And it was fun, but it was always going to happen, and I don't think it would have got close either. It's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
if you send that kind of song and perform it in that kind of way, then it's over. You're dead on arrival, and that was the case here. They were never going to be anywhere near.
Yeah, I hear you. I got to go back to you, Roy. I know for the last time, probably this year, talking about Georgia. I know you expected it yourself, but your final thoughts on it, expected.
Well,
Take it away.
look, he was maybe not on point vocally. The stage was maybe a little too flat, and the song just has a small market in general. So it's totally okay. Like, I fully expected it, and this studio version, I'll still have it on replay. I'll still listen to this a lot because I absolutely love it. And Tornika still has an amazing talent. It just wasn't meant to be with this song, but I expected it because the market for such a song is just very small. So it makes sense. I wasn't upset about it really. But hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is. He tried, but there are only 10 spots, so someone has to be eliminated. James, Samantha Tina, she tried for so many years, finally gets to Eurovision, and then doesn't even make it to the grand final. Were you surprised? I heard some flat notes tonight here a little bit. Maybe it was just me, but that's how it came across.
That is correct. Now I've followed Tina's journey, and oh god, I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I've always thought her style. I could never figure out what her optimal style is, but she always comes off as like a foghorn. Like every time I hear her, I get a headache. Even though we know she can sing, but there's something about her style and the music she chooses to pair it with that gives me a headache. And I know a lot of people who were turned off by not just this year's entry, but last year's one. And I actually reckon if she'd have kept last year's staging ideas with the women with the babies and that might have helped her out, but her staging really let her down this year as well.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Feel sad for her, but when you go to Eurovision, that's always a possibility. And then the last one that did not make it was Fear and Flamme. I'll just comment on that one since I was, a big stan of this one. I knew it would be trouble. I still believe, I almost have no doubt in my mind. I mean, I may eat some humble pie as well soon, but it was easily in the top 10. I could see actually this one potentially be the Verona of 2021, where the juries were really saying we're not having any of it, and destroyed it. So I'm very sad, and I saw them in the green room like hugging already. I kind of knew that this was going to happen once I saw, okay, Finland's still out there, that this is not going to be a thing. I'm very sad for this. The press center for the first time went wild. It got the biggest reaction, which I did not anticipate, and it was a huge reaction on Twitter as well. So that's why I'm certain it was very popular with the public. Just I knew that the juries probably would bury that one pretty badly, and I don't know for sure, but that is my feeling. I know a lot of people, myself included, are devastated, not devastated, but disappointed. But they gave it their all, and I'm hoping Denmark will not just think like, oh, we can never send a Danish song again, because that is my biggest fear, that they feel as, well, we cannot send a song in a native tongue because we'll lose. And that is not the case. It is really just took a chance with a song that may a little bit less conventional, and it didn't work out. But I hope Denmark will not just never ever send Danish again, because I thought it was a good song. So now it is time. We have a few more minutes to answer your questions, and you know how to do it at ESC United in the chat, either here on YouTube or my friends on Twitch. So let us know. Sandy is asking why people said Switzerland would lose its chances because of the staging. The staging elevated the song even more. My boyfriend doesn't even like those kind of songs, and it was his favorite. I think, Gabe, you were the last one to see the performance. You said you didn't understand why people were saying this wasn't going to do well, right? You were immediately smitten by it.
Yeah, I didn't understand at all. I mean, the snippets, people basically The Euro fandom, as I love it, and I wouldn't change it for the world, I am part of it, and I am just as guilty of this as everyone else. Saw a tiny snippet of the entry and lost their minds a bit, I think, assuming that he'd be like, doing this the whole song. And so everybody suddenly had demolished it in their minds, having seen barely anything. But the staging works perfectly. It's intense and it grips you. And like that section, the middle section where you're just looking into his eyes and he's got the sort of pink light across his face. Like, it's really magical and special. And I'm so glad that now everyone has seen how good it really is. I think he is still in it to win here. He could still take that victory. It could go anywhere. Part of me wonders whether him and Barbara might accidentally knock each other on the head come Saturday.
Wait, was Switzerland in the first or second half, by the way? I forgot. First, right? First, yeah. Okay. Now watch him.
It was wonderful. I thought he did brilliantly tonight.
Yes. Let's see some other questions here. When are we going to see the running order for the grand final? John, you want to answer that one?
We don't know is the short answer. The long answer is it's going to be sometime in the next few hours. I mean, from previous experience, it showed up at about 1 a.m. maybe Central European time. It might be a bit different this year, considering that they've already drawn the halves, and normally we have to wait for the press conference and then they go away and think about it. So I don't know whether that's part of the planning. But yeah, it's turned up at 1 a.m. It's turned up at 3 a.m. before. It's all we know is that like if you go to bed tonight and you wake up in the morning, you'll have the running order because they need it for tomorrow. Don't forget, we jump straight into the dress rehearsal for the final tomorrow. So yeah, it won't be long, but they've just got to work out what they're doing with it and who's in which half and go from there.
And you raised a good point about they drew the halves immediately, so they are already, the producers, figuring it out as we speak. So I'm more confident that we get it sooner than later. So you may still be up, actually. So, but Sean is right. Don't wait up for it because you never know. But it's possible, but we don't know.
It has taken hours and hours before, and they've got a really difficult set of songs to try and plan out. Yeah. Which again is part of the bullshit of the whole producer running order, but that's for another conversation. But yeah, it will be soon. It'll be soon.
Okay. There are a few people asking this question in the chat, so I'm going to ask it in general. Now that we have all countries figured out first and second half, who will open and who will close the show? We don't know, of course, but let's just make a fun guessing game. James, who do you think will open the show and who do you think will close it?
Let's see. Who's going to open? Let's see. I think El Diablo is a good candidate. And I would say Embers is a good candidate as well, UK.
Yeah. I will, and who's closing it?
I would say San Marino is a good candidate for closure. And then who else is a high energy one? Maybe Ukraine.
Okay. I will say, me personally, I think good opener could be potentially something like Israel or the United Kingdom as well. I don't think they're going to put Cyprus first, although you never know. But that would be my guesses. Roy.
I think just solely based on it being very big props, UK makes the most sense, especially because Spain is in the same half as well. But I think also Israel is a very good shout to open the show. So I'll agree sort of on that. And for the closer, I mean, they're not going to close it with a rock song. I don't think so. So I would rather look at something more poppy. So I could see it somehow be like Sweden or indeed San Marino as well. But I would lean more towards Sweden being closer.
Yeah, and I forgot to say, actually, the closer, I still think it's going to be Germany. It's a perfect closer to me. It's light, it's fun, it is cheerful, it gets people in the right mood, and it has a perfect ending with like, ladies and gentlemen, this is the song, have a good night, whatever that part is. I think it's perfect for that. So I feel confident it's Germany. Plus, they haven't closed in a very long time. Anyway, Gabe, your thoughts, opener and closer.
So I'm going to go with the UK for opener because there's an interesting conundrum here. Either they will open UK or they will death slot Spain. Only one of those things can be true. So I think we may end up opening with UK and then death slotting a poppy song that did badly in the semi. So Israel.
Badly?
think
I mean,
potentially.
can you be badly in the semi when you made it?
I
know
mean,
what you
true, but yeah. And then closing the show, I think San Marino seems the most likely to me.
That would be another good choice, yeah.
At the same time, I mean, the good thing is for the songs in the second half being anywhere from 17, or really from 15 to 26 in the running order means that no matter where you are, people will remember you if you bring it on the night. So I'm not overthinking the end of the show, but the start I am.
Yes. Okay, Sean, what your thoughts?
So here's the thing. I've said all along I thought it'd be the UK. And I still think it's a possibility, but I just wonder whether they're going to, looking at how they've struggled to get the UK props up and down, I don't think they're going to put that song first. Because why would you open the show with one song and then, okay, we're going to go to a break now? Because it just seems, really poor planning. So I think they're going to go with something that doesn't take much staging. And I think the perfect candidate, because I've had a bit of chance to look at this, is Serbia. I feel like Serbia could be a good opener. I could also see something like maybe Belgium or Portugal following up Serbia, sort of, low maintenance sort of stagings. In terms of closing, I feel like it might be Azerbaijan, just because it feels like a very high energy Eurovision-y song and it ends quite well. It's a really strong ending. That or Moldova, I think between them two, I would say. They've probably got it sewn up because I don't think they ever really sacrifice like a favourite, as it were, or an odds high ender in the last place of the show. So I think that's what they'll go for.
All right, we have time for a few more questions here. Let's go right through them. MZ London saying, is Sean reading my comments on here? That's on Twitch. Sean is not on Twitch. I am checking them. But if you have a question for him,
you get all the Twitch comments in the normal comments.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm not sure if Sean's checking that, though. I didn't tell him to do that. Who do you think, this coming from Pipeno as well, who do you think won the televote tonight? Just go from no long explanation. Who do you think won the televote tonight? Gabe.
Big shout. San Marino.
San Marino won the televote.
Yes.
James.
I'm going to hazard a guess, purely speculative here. I'm going to say Finland won the televote. All those secret metalheads, they're done listening to Cannibal Corpse and their exercise, and they said, Mom, give me the phone. I'm calling in for Finland.
Yeah. I actually will follow you, James, and I'm going to have, because metalheads, I get it, I agree, but the cool thing is Finland also has more of a mass universal appeal, like mainstream appeal. And I think that I could see Finland actually winning this semi as well. So that's my choice right now. Roy.
I think Switzerland may have done a double here. So I'll go with Switzerland.
What do you mean a double? Did they win
winning the jury and the televote.
Oh, gotcha. I thought they didn't win the televote last week. Oh, yeah, gotcha.
No, but I think, Switzerland, it's such a striking performance, and I think it really resonated with a lot of people. And I can definitely see a lot of people it's a song you want to vote for because it looks so artsy and so cool and so different from a lot of other songs. So I'll go Switzerland.
Yeah, I totally get it. And Sean.
Iceland.
Oh, I forgot about Iceland.
Iceland feels like a nailed-on televote winner after tonight. Bulgaria with an outside chance of maybe doing the double, like Roy says, but I think Iceland have probably got the televote.
Yes. So, let me see here. Do you think Iceland could join the green room in the final? No. They will not be able to join the green room. That's what they said, because they have been exposed. So, and they don't. If you not perform, you will not be in the green room. So it'll be all just remote. Do you think that the winning chances of Malta and Switzerland really dropped with their first half draw? What do you think, Gabe?
No, it is. I think this is the thing that people massively overthink every year. As long as you're not like in the first 6 or 7 songs, your chances really are not impacted, in my view, much. It's more about the songs which are immediately around you. So if you're an upbeat song with ballad either side, that's advantageous. If you're a ballad with 2 ballads either side, that's obviously not. So I don't think the first half, second half thing is a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it is a big deal, as you said in the beginning, depending on how, because there is this, some people may forget some of the songs, but it's often unfortunate that some people turn in late. So they sometimes don't get all of the songs. But as said, we're talking about the first few songs, not like once you start at 7 or 8 or something like that, it's not going to be as impactful. So I don't think so either. So we have to wait and see also how the betting odds will change, but it's going to be interesting.
Can I just say, just on the point of the running order, I've just gone onto the live blog on Eurovision.tv, and the live blog's running till about 2:30 Central European time. So that could be a clue as to when the running order's coming out.
Okay, stay up, people, if you can. If not, then find out in the morning. Find out in the morning. We have a few more minutes left. I have to, because I head out at midnight. Have you seen how high Azerbaijan is on ESC tracker? Could be a safe Eastern European thing. I don't know. I don't pay attention to tracker, and we also said that you have to take that with a grain of salt a little bit.
Yeah, they're number 1 in Tajikistan.
Oh,
So,
there you go.
Yeah, 5 in Greece, 10 in Finland, 14 in the Netherlands. But then most of the songs are going to be in the Dutch charts, I would have thought.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, that would be troubling for Russia that'd be trouble for Russia if someone other than Malaysia is number 1 in Tajikistan.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say the Tajikistan iTunes chart isn't the most prestigious. I'm not sure how much we should be reading into it.
No, just to say the highest song from tonight on the ESC tracker is Portugal.
Oh, is it showing up at you? I still haven't seen. They're all really low for me still. I think it hasn't updated yet.
Yeah, Portugal is at number 6 in the Netherlands, 27 in Norway, 54 in Belgium, 61 in Austria. It's starting to climb.
All right, so let's see here. John CH is asking, can Finland be Italy's biggest problem in the final, given they're in the same half as well? I feel they won this semi's televoting. Do you think?
No.
Because we're thinking in very narrow terms sometimes when it comes to these songs. Sean, no.
Look, we've got about 6 or 7 upbeat pop songs in this final. Like, I never got this argument that if there's 2 rock songs in the same final, they have to impact on each other. If you can have however many, like, women dancing on stage to an upbeat pop song and it doesn't affect them, why would it affect 2 rock songs? They're different styles of rock as well. I never got it. It just seemed a really sort of not to go off, like it's not like a big thing really, but it irks me when people say like, oh, they're going to cancel each other out 2 rock songs. It's like it doesn't matter if any other genre.
Yeah, and the thing is, keep in mind, and Sean raised a good point about there are also different styles within this genre, because I love Finland, like a lot, and I don't care for Italy actually this year. So just because they're rock songs doesn't mean I have to either like them both or hate them both. They're just 2 very different styles. And I know a lot of people will say in the chat, well, Finland is aggressive pop, but let's not get hung up on semantics here, okay? We know what we're talking about. So, yes. So for tomorrow, then we have our first whole dress rehearsal, by the way. So what time does it start tomorrow? 1 o'clock. So we'll be online a little before that, so we can just get situated. So we're gonna have the running order obviously way before that. So make sure to tune in for that. Any final thoughts on this show tonight, James?
Nerve-wracking for me towards the end because 2 of my favorites, Finland and Denmark, were left to go, and ultimately Finland won through. But yeah, another great show. I think slightly better than semi-final one.
Okay. Roy, real quick, because I have to head out in 2 minutes. So you got a few seconds.
2 minutes. Yeah, it was a great show. I'm happy Finland made it. I'm not very upset that Georgia didn't make it. I'll love it no matter what. So keep streaming. Torny, keep on with you because it's lovely, and I'm excited for the grand final.
Okay, Gabe, your thoughts?
I mean, I'm delighted with how the semi-final went. All my favourites that I thought were going to qualify are through. San Marino smashed it and are now going to have a great placement and a great finish, I think, on Saturday. So I'm really, really excited for that. Oh, I'm feeling so positive.
I know.
This is the strongest final we've had in years.
Fairly low bar at this point, but you think San Marino's best result to date, huh?
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
Easily.
Has to be.
Yeah. Sean, final thoughts.
I think tonight was a really, really strong show. There was a lot of really strong songs made it through. They've joined the semi-final one, qualifiers, and I think just in general, it's just really exciting that Europe gets to watch the Eurovision Song Contest, and it's going to be a really strong show. And after the 2 years of trauma, let's be honest, that we've all had, no matter what you are, where you are in life or where you live, it's been traumatic. So I'm just so thrilled that we've got something like semblance to normality in this show to come, and it's really exciting.
Yes. So those, I couldn't have said it any better. And that means we have still a few more shows to go. You guys, of course, have only the grand final, but we're gonna be here tomorrow for the dress rehearsal of the grand final, the first one. And hopefully you tune in, and I cannot wait to see y'all. Until then, thanks, James. Thanks, Roy. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Gabe, for joining me. And I'll
Thanks,
talk to you all
guys.
later. Goodbye.
Have a good one.
Bye.